How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be talking about The Church from 1989, directed by Michele Soavi, who also directed Stage Fright, one of my favorite slashers, quite underrated, so I thought I'd go ahead and check this one out. It's produced by Dario Argento as well, and he also has a credit in writing it, so hence the banner across the top of the DVD there, Dario Argento Collection, not directed, produced, and writing credit. This movie stars, well gee, who's the main character? According to IMDb, the main character is Father Gus, played by Hugh, Quarshie, but we'll get into that later on in the review. This movie opens up with a medieval scene, a prologue way back in the medieval times, and you get a group of knights that finds some witches, and they decide that they need to kill the whole town. So they kill the witches, fearing that the evil spread into the town. They kill the town, and they bury them all in a big old mass grave. They put a big cross over it to seal the evil in, and they say to make sure that the evil stays sealed in, we're going to build a church on top of this mass grave. So that kind of explains what's going to go down later on. You jump to the present day, and you meet a new librarian that's going to be working at this church, and he meets a restorationist, a girl working on preserving the artwork. And while the girl's down in the tunnels, she finds a page of a book wedged in the wall that she pulls out and gives to the librarian. Book page, yeah, give that to the librarian. And he studies it and begins to think that there's treasures or forgotten sciences somewhere in the church. They actually wouldn't allow anyone but the architects to be buried in the church's mausoleum. So he goes, I bet they're keeping secrets down there, and begins to search the church's basement, accidentally unleashing the evil. And I have to say about The Church, this is a movie set entirely, well, pretty much entirely, in this church, and if you're a guy that's big into settings, and you like churches, old Gothic churches, this is gonna be the movie for you. One of the biggest strong points of this movie is the setting. This church looks really nice. It brings a great Gothic feel, and I really love that. Now that being said, one of the flaws is in the middle portion of this movie, it does kind of lag and meander, and this is an Italian movie, and if you know a thing or two about Italian movies, you're gonna expect some fun and interesting crazy stuff to happen, and you really don't get that till the last act. So this movie does meander for quite a bit, but then when you get to that last act, when the evil unleashes, it is some fun, crazy times. If you like the movie Demons, the last act is gonna really appeal to you. But you know, I said the main character, I was like, well, who's the main character? That's kind of one of the things. The two big flaws of this movie is it really lags in the middle, and then by the end it kind of forgets the characters. You think your main characters are the librarian and the restorationist. By the end of the movie's pretty much forgotten these two. It shifts focus quite abruptly to Father Gus, one of the priests working at this church, and a young girl whose parents work at the church, and she's kind of sneaking out at night through the catacombs, and she gets involved in this. Now I do want to say this young girl is actually played by a very young Dario Argento, Dario Argento's daughter, the producer, and got the writing credit. So he's got his daughter in this, and Ascia would later be in a lot of Dario Argento's movies and a lot of other horror movies. If you're a Romero fan, the fourth film, Land of the Dead, she was the female lead in that one. Dario also good friends with Romero there. But to have seen this person in lots of other movies, you get to see her really young in one of her first films, if not her first. it was kind of cool to be like, ah, that's her when she's a kid. It's fun to see that. But anyway, yeah, the film really abruptly shifts to these two, and you forget about the people you were following around, the librarian and the restorationist. You're like, oh, those people just off into the craziness. Now it's these two. So yeah, the characterization wasn't quite great. This film's is okay, and the third act really saves a lot, and the setting really saves a lot too. Yeah, it's just that lag in the characters, but like, I really loved Stage Fright. A very underrated slasher, and I probably had too high of hopes for this one. But it's still a pretty good movie. I mean, I said what the faults are is just, I was hoping for another film on the level of Stage Fright. If you slasher fans watch that, I need to do a full review of it. I do also have plans. He did some other horror films. I have The Sect, and I really want to get Cemetery Man. Those look pretty good. So whenever I get my hands on Cemetery Man and whenever I get around to watching The Sect, I'll have reviews for those pretty soon. It's by no means a bad movie. It's just that lag in the middle. But anyway, if this sounds interesting to you, I would recommend watching it. Just gotta, be big gothic horror fans, Anyway, I'll be back with more reviews later. I'll get to more Italian horror movie reviews, and I really do want to do some Dario Argento reviews. I don't think I actually have any full Dario Argento reviews on this channel, which kind of surprises me, but I think that's because I watched most of those before the channel started. But there are a few that I need to get to, and quite a few that I would love to rewatch. Anyway, for those of you who made it this far, I really want to say thank you to everyone who's liked and subscribed. You really helped me out, and I'll be back again for another video really soon. Have a good day. I'll see you next time.